Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and as promised, now here I am for Halloween. Now to give my thoughts on the new Halloween movie. So I went to see the movie this past Sunday, and here I'm just going to give my thoughts on what I felt about it. So, yeah, as usual, this is going to contain spoilers for the movie. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the movie yet, which by this point I'm sure probably a lot of you have, seeing how it's now Halloween, and a lot of people probably actually did want to see this movie prior to Halloween, or at least by Halloween. But yeah, for those of you that haven't seen it, yeah, if you don't want any spoilers, just wait until you see the movie, or else if you don't care about spoilers as usual, you can just watch this video and you can just watch it and not care what you hear. So yeah, okay, so how did I feel about this movie? Mm, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, of all the Halloween movies, I think probably since the original, this is probably the best one. I mean, yeah, as you can probably like see from like all the ones that I've now looked at. I mean, yeah, well, since seeing how as I have looked at pretty much all of them, well, in exception to the third movie, but yeah, like I said, we all know how that one is. Yep. Yeah. So as you can probably see, like, really none of the other films really were like really that good. So yeah, I think it was really like no contest that this one really is definitely the best one since the original, and definitely like since this first sequel by Halloween 2. So yeah, so I guess this is definitely like a huge humor, and definitely like really did like get the Halloween franchise back on course. So yeah, this is really like talking about this movie. I'm not really going to be comparing this to, like the Rob Zombie movies, because yeah, the Rob Zombie movies really are just like they're just like the reboot films, like I've already talked about. So yeah, this when I talk about this film, this is really just going to be like comparison really to the original run of the movie, seeing how this is really like kind of this is really like pretty much kind of like a sequel and a reboot of the original series. So yeah, it's really just going to be like me comparing this more to the original movies rather than not really the remakes. So yeah. So when this movie was announced, I was like kind of like wondering what they were actually going to do with this, because when I like heard about them making this movie, I really didn't know like what they were going to do, because obviously like in Halloween Resurrection, Laurie ended up being killed. So yeah, I wasn't really quite sure like what they could really do with it, because when I heard they were bringing Laurie Strode back, I was like, what is this going to be? But yeah, then I discovered that this is really like it is kind of like a reboot of the original series, but as well as a sequel. Because yeah, this movie it is like really acting as a continuation of the original film, but it's really kind of ignoring the events of all the sequels. It's very similar to like Superman Returns, how that film was like it was like kind of like a sequel to the original two Superman films, but it was ignoring the events of the third and the fourth movie. And it's kind of the case here too, where I'm not sure if this is actually like acting as a like is it as a continuation for the second movie, but yeah, it definitely is like kind of like it is acting as a sequel to the original film. So yeah, it is like that. And thought it was like pretty interesting that like like they ended up like rebooting the franchise with the Rob Zombie movies, and then they made this film, which is kind of like going back to the original series in a sense, but also rebooting it as well. So I just thought it was kind of interesting that they like made a reboot and then kind of like decided to just go back to really kind of the original series in a sense. So I thought that was interesting that they did it. And yeah, this was actually a pretty good film. And gosh, that dog won't just shut up. Gosh, I've told you guys before how I cannot stand the dog living next door. It just always is constantly barking, and I'm sick of it. And it is just so freaking annoying. Yeah. So, you know, yeah, this was a pretty good film overall. I mean, it is kind of interesting, but really, like I said, it does like act as a sequel to the original film. Yeah, and it does take place like 40 years after the events of the original film. Yeah, and also like I was wondering why they just decided to call this film just Halloween again, seeing how it is like while it is kind of a reboot, it is still like in the same timeline as the original film, which was already just titled Halloween. So yeah, I was like confused why they decided to just call this film just Halloween again. I mean, I didn't why they didn't call this like a give it like more to its style than just like Halloween, like Halloween the Final Showdown or Halloween me and Michael Strikes Again or yeah something like that. Yeah, I'm just like wonder. I didn't see why they just ended up calling this film like Halloween again. Like last year for like the Jumanji sequel, like at first it was just like listed the title as Jumanji, but then they eventually like ended up adding more to it, and so it wasn't just titled Jumanji like the original Jumanji was. So yeah, I was thinking that maybe like over time they were gonna like add more to the title than just have it called Halloween, but no, they just ended up like just leaving it as Halloween again. So yeah, I just felt it was kind of strange that they did it that way. But yeah, and so as I said, this film also does like kind of act like rebooting the series in a sense, how it is like treating all the original sequels as if they never happened. So yeah, there was a lot of like elements that were in the original series that ended up like being like rewritten in this movie as if like certain like several things in the original series never did happen. Like for of course like Laurie is still alive because yeah she like I said she was killed in Resurrection, so yeah she is like still alive in this film. So that was one thing, and also like for this film they like made it like wrote it as if Jamie had never existed now because yeah in this film it's shown that Laurie did have another a daughter, but yeah her name is just Karen Nelson in this film. So yeah it's as if Jamie never did exist. This so and now Karen is just the no, is Laurie's daughter. I'm not sure if like maybe Karen may have just been like another one of Laurie's daughters like Jamie was or what. Yeah, they never actually do like explain like if like Laurie did have multiple daughters or not. But yeah, it is they do like say in this film how Laurie had been divorced like a couple of times. Like she had two different divorces, so I don't know, maybe like she did have Jamie through another a different marriage than she had Karen through. Yeah, I'm not sure. They never actually touch upon that, but I guess like it could be like debated on. And yeah, yeah, and yeah, they do have like some other events listed. Like they do say like on Halloween 40 years before how Michael had just like murdered like three people. I think they said in this film, and not like all the people that he murdered like in the first two films combined. Seeing how like the second film had like taken place like immediately after the events of the original film. So yeah, yeah. And so yeah, and they also just like yeah, there are like some other events throughout the films that have also been rewritten as if like the some like elements in the original film had never did happen. So yeah, and in this film, you have a like Michael has like a new psychiatrist in this film who pretty much has taken over Dr. Loomis's job in this. Yeah, and they do like saying this well now at this point like Dr. Loomis has passed away. So yeah, I guess now they actually do give a reasoning for that for like Dr. Loomis is gone. Well, yeah, as opposed to like how it was in like Halloween H2O where they never actually do. Well, yeah, they I guess they kind of do. Yeah, they do say how Dr. Loomis is gone and retired and stuff. But yeah, they there was never actually any real explanation. I think Dr. Loomis was just like yeah, he was just like disappeared from the franchise after this. So yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. After like what happened at the end of Curse of Michael Myers, I guess like it was debate. Like maybe it was suggesting that he had was killed, but yeah, it was never actually revealed for sure. So yeah, but at least now they do give like an explanation for it. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, in this film you just have like a like in this film it's showing that Lori, she's just like preparing for another showdown with Michael Myers. She's just like living kind of like in an in isolation, sort of, because yeah, she has like her house like completely like locked up and stuff. She has like a bunch of locks around her house and her doors and stuff, and has a gate put over her house. So yeah, pretty much like she is just like heavily prepared and armed and everything, and just has her home guarded off for like a to prepare for another showdown with Michael because apparently like she's like she was hoping for Michael to escape from the sanitarium he was at had to so she could finally kill him. So yeah, she's basically like making it an obsession of hers now to finally kill Michael. And so yeah, and of course, like in this film, Michael Myers is obviously back, and and really the murders in this film that he has are actually like pretty violent. I mean, there were some like scenes in this film where he did kill people that just seemed like really violent and just yeah, this seemed like actually pretty yeah. This film seemed to have like a lot more gore in it than the previous Halloween films did. Well, you know how like in the particularly like in the original film, like you really didn't see that much blood in the film, but it was still like it still did seem pretty violent. But here, like we actually do like see like a lot more blood and graphic material and stuff. So yeah, this film did seem like a lot more gory than the original series was. So yeah, yeah. And in this film, we also do have Jamie's, I mean, not Jamie, Laurie's granddaughter, who's a Karen's daughter, Allison, who, like, she does actually, when this film begins, it is, like, shown that she does talk with Laurie, but Karen really doesn't seem to have a very good relationship with her mother, just really doesn't talk to her, and it's shown that, like, Karen actually does end up, like, lying to Allison that she does talk to her a lot of times, but yeah, but Allison actually does know that she that her mother doesn't talk to Laurie because she actually talks to Laurie herself. So yeah, and yeah, Allison, she's like another one of the main protagonists in this film, along with Laurie. Yeah, and we also do have like some other characters in here. We do have, of course, like as I said, we do have the new psychiatrist, Doctor Ranbir Sartin. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but yeah, he's now Michael's psychiatrist in the film, and we also do have a, like members of the police force in here as well, and yeah, we do have just like yeah, Allison's like has a bunch of friends in this film, so yeah, it's basically like a pretty much a totally new generation of characters in here. Yeah, so yeah, but yeah, overall, I do think that it is a good film. Yeah, I won't really like go over like the entire plot of this film like I do with the others because I don't really want to give too much away about what happens in this film, just in case anybody hasn't seen it. But yeah, I'll go through like some certain things about the film. So yeah, as the movie does open up, it shows that there are these couple there are a couple of crime podcasters that end up like paying a visit to the Smiths Grove Rehab Hospital that Michael Myers is at, and it's revealed that Michael Myers is going to be like ended up transported to a new center. It's kind of like similar to the opening of Halloween 4, where he was going to be transferred to another center. Yeah, and yeah, the two podcasters were like, there was a guy and a woman. They were like trying to like get an interview with Michael as well as Dr. Sartin, but yeah, Michael really was not saying anything and to them, obviously, and even like the guy ended up like pulling out Michael's old mask, but yeah, he still didn't say anything, and yeah, then like cut to like the opening credits, and we did actually get like the original version of the Halloween theme. So yeah, it was good that they put in like the original version of the music there. Here, yep. And yeah, then those podcasters then like tried to get an interview with Lori, and it was like then revealed like her house was like heavily guarded, and she's just like heavily armed stuff. And yeah, they then like interview Lori with a $3,000 bribe to her. Yeah, her and yeah, they like tried to like get Lori to meet up with Michael, but yeah, she ended up like brushing it off, and like it's shown that Lori does have a PTSD. And it was shown that like for the last 40 years, ever since the original film, she was like preparing for the Michael's return. Yep. And then yeah, she after like the two podcasters ended up like putting her off with their conduct, she then ended up like throwing them out. Oh yeah. And then it showed eventually that Michael was then like starting to be transported to his new center, and but then he like ended up like sabotaging the his transport, and then yeah, he ended up like just causing the bus that was transporting him to just get in a to just like drive off of the road and then just crash and get wrecked. Yeah, and then and yeah, just like showing him like there was a man and his son that were just like driving past the incident, and then they just saw the wrecked bus and several security guards that were killed, and then yeah, they were like just trying to uh, observe the damage, see if they could actually like revive anybody or save them. But then eventually, then Michael ended up like killing the both of them. And then eventually, when Michael ended up like attacking a gas station, and those two podcasters were actually visiting that gas station for gas. And then as the woman was like in the restroom, and like it was shown that Michael had like attacked the gas station, and yeah, just shown that like the employees at the gas station ended up like being killed, and then yeah, Michael then came face to face with the two podcasters, and then the guy tried to fight off Michael as the woman was like trying to escape, but then yeah, Michael ended up like killing both of them as well, and then he ended up like taking back his mask and putting it on. Yeah, and then eventually like Lori ended up like finding out about Michael's escape, and then she then was like trying to warn like her daughter Karen, as well as like Allison and her and Karen's husband, Ray. And, yeah, and then like when she was trying to warn them, and like they just felt that she was just like crazy and needed help, and then they just like dismissed her concerns, yeah, and then just like threw her out of the house. Yeah, and then later that night, then as Allison was at a school dance, she ended up finding out that her boyfriend was cheating on her and stuff, and so yeah, and yeah, it also shown that there was also this other guy. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there was like this other guy, Oscar, who was her boyfriend's best friend, and that was like trying to pick up on her and stuff, but she was just like pushing him away and stuff. Yeah, and well, and yeah, we got like stuff like that throughout this film. Yeah, and eventually, then like Michael eventually on his way back to Haddonfield, and then just was like on a killing spree. And at one point, when like it was shown that he ended up like taking a knife and like killed like an older woman. It was kind of similar to like what he did in the was it the second film where he like ended up like stealing a knife from an old couple or something. Yeah, and then yeah, he ended up like killing off some of Allison's friends, like her best friend Vicky and her boyfriend Dave, and he also ended up killing some neighbors as well, including. And it was funny, like Vicky in this film, like she was like babysitting a kid, and the kid was like probably like 9 years old or something, and the kid like was like ended up like swearing a bunch of times, and it was pretty funny, like including one time where it was revealed Michael was hiding in the a kid's closet, but he attacked Vicky. The kid was like, "Oh fuck" or something, and he just ended up running out, and yeah, he was just like swearing like constantly, which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, yeah. And eventually, once like Lori found out about Michael's killing spree, then she like ended up convincing Karen and Ray to just like come to her house for protection. Yeah, and eventually, then Michael ended up like killing Oscar, and then yeah, Allison then ended up then finding Michael, and then yeah, he was then like chasing her down. But yeah, eventually, like Allison ended up being rescued by a couple of well, rescued by a well, the sheriff as well as Doctor Sartain, and yeah, and then and eventually once they found out Michael roamed the streets, then Michael ended up being hit by the police car, and then it knocked Michael unconscious. And then we actually had kind of an interesting twist in this, which I don't think anybody was expecting at all. Kind of like a big surprise in this film. when it looked like Hawkins and well, the sheriff Hawkins, yeah, and Dr. Sarton were had killed Michael, and Dr. Sarton then suddenly just ended up like killing the sheriff, and then yeah, he it showed that Allison was just like locked in the back of the police car, and and then yeah, Michael just ended up like being loaded into the back of the car with Allison, and then yeah, Dr. Sarton just ended up like hijacking the car, and then yeah, he just felt that he this was like a plan by him to uh just like try to start up a conflict at Lori's home for Michael to start to attack her to decipher the true nature. But then eventually, then Michael then just ended up waking up and ended up killing Doctor Saratan. And yeah, and then eventually, like Allison was able to break free and then just into the woods. And eventually, Michael ended up arriving at Lori's house, and yeah, she apparently and Lori also like had this hidden cellar in her house, which she had like underneath her kitchen counter or something, which where she had like all her guns and just weapons of hers to just defeat Michael. And yeah, Karen was hiding down there, and then Ray ended up like just walking outside, and then Michael just ended up like killing Ray. Hey, and then yeah, Lori then was just searching her house with a gun to try to find Michael, and then eventually Michael then and like appeared, and then yeah, Lori and Michael then just ended up fighting, and then eventually Michael then ended up like knocking Lori off of her balcony. Yeah, and then yeah, it seemed that at that point Lori had actually been yeah, but then like when it showed that Allison ended up arriving at the house, and then she went down to the basement. Michael then like looked back down the balcony where Lori had fallen. It showed that she wasn't there. So yeah, kind of like similar to the ending of the original film where Dr. Loomis had shot Michael well, out of the house down to the ground, but then it showed then once Dr. Loomis looked down, Michael was gone. So yeah, kind of similar thing here, and yeah, I guess this is kind of like a kind of suggesting that Lori may actually have like the same type of I don't know like what to actually say, but yeah, she's kind of like in the same type of humanoid that Michael is where he doesn't get killed or something. Yeah, maybe this was like been suggesting that that's the same case with Lori, but I don't know. Yeah, and then yeah, eventually then yeah, Allison went down to the basement with her mother, and then yeah, Michael eventually ended up like finding them, but yeah, Karen eventually ended up ambushing Michael and shot him and stunning him, and it then showed that Lori had survived, and then eventually Lori, Karen, and Allison eventually ended up like trapping Michael inside of the basement, like uh, pretty much like caging up the entrance and exit of the basement, and then yeah, then like they ended up like just heating up the basement somehow, and then yeah, they then just ended up like sending the house ablaze. Hayes with Michael trapped down there, and yeah, then just showed them Lori, Karen, and Allison like ended up escaping the house, and they just ended up like catching a ride in the back of the pickup truck, and then they just showed the house was just like totally on fire, and then it just showed the that inside the house, like it showed that the basement was on fire and Michael wasn't anywhere to be found. And then just ended up then cutting the credits. But then yeah, at the very end of the credits, like it was you could like hear the sound of breathing. So yeah, this is like kind of indicating that Michael may actually still be alive. So yeah, it looks like now they may end up like making another sequel to this film. So yeah, I'm not quite sure like what they are planning to do next. I'm not sure where they are planning to go from here, and I'm not quite sure like how long like this now like this rebooted sequel Halloween franchise. I'm not quite sure like how long they will plan to keep this up. I mean, will it just be one more film, or are they gonna like try to like make another whole series out of this and just like rewrite the events of the original sequels and just like trying to make a new timeline out of this. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're planning to do and what they're planning to go with next. But yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait to find out what they're planning to do next and how long this like rebooted sequel Halloween franchise will actually go on. But yeah, overall, I did think that this was a pretty good film overall. Definitely like a huge redeemer of like all the films ever since the original. How they just like seem to they never seem to really be able to make an actual good Halloween movie for the most part. I mean, yeah, there have been like some that have been like decent films, but yeah, none that really do like really seem to like be as good as the first two films, and especially the original. So yeah, but yeah, with this film, they actually did seem to pull off making a really good movie, and like I said, it probably is the best one since the original. So now, what they plan to do next, I'm not sure. Like I said, we're just gonna have to wait to find out. I'm not quite sure, like if they are going with a sequel, when it will be released. But yeah, yeah. As far as this film goes, I would say it is definitely good. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend going to see it. I mean, yeah, like I said, a lot of you probably have already, because since it is now Halloween, you probably want to see this one beforehand. But yeah, if you haven't yet, I would suggest checking it out. And even like if you don't really feel like going now, since like it'll be like after Halloween, yeah, go, yeah, buy this movie when it does come to Blu-ray, and yeah, give it a watch then. And yeah, you will. I think you'll definitely see it as a huge redeemer from like all the films since the original. So yeah, it is a pretty good film overall. All right, so yes, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, it's a good film overall. So yeah, so this does. I guess this is my thoughts on the new Halloween movie. So pretty good film overall. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about this, and yeah, stay tuned now because yeah, I've got some more stuff coming, and yeah, 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 for November now, like I am got like something else like planned, and in honor of like a certain movie coming out next month for November. But yeah, I'm not gonna quite get into my plans for that just yet. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do like certain and other things before I actually get into my plans for that. Yeah, I won't say what it is yet, but yeah, I will like make more stuff before I actually get into my plans. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you guys did enjoy these Halloween movie reviews overall. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.